Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing fine. I'm also okay. Recently, at the funeral of the late George Oduor, the long-serving security of Raila Odinga, Edwin Sifuna gave his usual lectures to the president, an attempt to mock him and an attempt to embarrass him. The president, when responding, reminded Edwin Sifuna that he was a founding member of ODM and that should there be need, he would ask for the convention of founding members of ODM, and Sifuna might find himself disadvantaged. And so this statement has elicited some interpretations. There are some who are saying that President William Ruto is insinuating that he might vie on ODM come 2027. And the people arguing this way say that recently presidential candidates have not contested re-election on the same party. They say that Kibaki vied on NAC but contested his re-election on PNU, that Uhuru came on TNA but went back on Jubilee, that it is not possible for William Ruto to just contest on UDA, arguing that by that time, by 2027, UDA might not be a very popular party. So the people were arguing that, so those are the reasons that some people are giving in as far as their interpretation of what the president said is concerned. There's also another group of, there's also another school of thought that perhaps the president was insinuating that ODM has already been handed over to him and that he literally called shots, considering that he said this in front of Raila Odinga and there were no repercussions. I want to answer the question, is it possible for William Ruto to contest the presidency on ODM ticket or using another party for that matter? If that is something you're interested in, I'm urging you to stay tuned. And if you're watching for the first time, just take a moment, subscribe to the channel so that when we produce videos of this nature, you are notified. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've studied how William Ruto does his politics, this should not even be a debate. When it comes to political parties, President Ruto is one who believes in stronger political parties, parties that can outlive their founders, parties that are based on ideologies. In fact, he has said this several times, that he is persuaded that Kenya needs strong political parties that people can identify with. I think his background in KANU and seeing how party systems were working, etc., made him desire to have parties that are capable, parties that are reliable, parties that you would find 100 years later. President Ruto served as a KANU Secretary General, and were it not for the conflict that was mostly orchestrated by the late Biwott and then later Gideon Moi, William Ruto would have stayed in KANU because he believes in party systems, for doing everything you can to ensure that you have a strong political party. Then he left KANU and they joined ODM. And you saw how Ruto mobilized and popularized ODM all over the country when he was part of ODM. In fact, contrary to what people may think, William Ruto was kicked out of ODM, not the other way around. He did not leave ODM because he wanted to. He left ODM because the likes of Nyong'o had seen William Ruto as a threat to Raila Odinga's future political endeavors. And so they decided to systematically get rid of him. For those who are not there, when ODM was founded, William Ruto was the deputy party leader of ODM. You can go and confirm that. Raila Odinga was the party leader. William Ruto was the deputy party leader of ODM. After the formation of the Grand Coalition government, in an attempt to ensure that Ruto was cut to size, ODM decided to have, and in a meeting at Bomas, ODM resolved to have two deputy party leaders, which now brought in Mudavadi as another deputy party leader. Raila being the party leader, William Ruto being a deputy party leader, and Mudavadi being the other party leader. This was to ensure that William Ruto is cut to size, because the likes of Nyong'o, who was the Secretary General of the party then, were feeling like if William Ruto is given a chance, he's going to make it difficult for Raila Odinga to shine. Some inferiority complex. And so they just launched an all-out war, roped in Raila. Raila would now sack Ruto from the cabinet and demand that he is removed. Raila would now be so anti-Ruto during that time and saw Ruto as an enemy, believed that he could get the votes from Rift Valley by himself without any help from William Ruto. And eventually they managed to kick Ruto out of ODM. It's not Ruto who left ODM. It is the party that kicked him out. Then William Ruto was with the URP, and he doesn't like these regional parties. So he convinced Uhuru Kenyatta, when they were going for re-election, to combine the parties to form some bigger party. That was when they formed Jubilee. Jubilee ended up getting some of the highest number of elected leaders in the history of this country's multi-party elections. Jubilee was so good. And William Ruto was looking at Jubilee as the party of the future. He invested his time, he invested in popularizing the party. He made Jubilee to be about agenda, about this and this and this, even coming up with the Big Four agenda to be synonymous with what Jubilee stands for. Unfortunately, as it would happen in 2018, after the handshake between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, the leadership of Jubilee started to get rid of Ruto allies and eventually declared Ruto a persona non grata. So he did not leave Jubilee. Actually, this was very recent. So those who are observant, you must have seen that Ruto was declared persona non grata, told that even if he stepped at the Jubilee house, he would be dealt with. And so he was kicked out of Jubilee, and that is what led to the formation of UDA. I am persuaded, ladies and gentlemen, based on this history of William Ruto, that he believes in building strong parties and he invests in party systems. UDA, as of now, is a fully functional political party with offices and everything. And he dared to even start doing election before ODM decided to join. And the fact that UDA has been doing election and has been trying to even get to infiltrate Nyanza and other places means that the president wants to leave a strong political party in the name of UDA. I don't think that he wants to abandon UDA for another party. Based on his history, William Ruto is going to contest, is likely going to contest using UDA political party. If anything, he just convinced Mudavadi to merge ANC with UDA. His goal, and he has been talking to members of the Kenya Kwanza coalition, urging some of them to merge their political parties so that they just have one serious political party moving into 2027. Why? William Ruto is persuaded that we need stronger political parties, not vehicles for a re-election or election, but parties that people can identify with. Like in other countries, you know that this party stands for this and this party stands for this. He wants a situation where the country has political parties that are recognizable, not the personality cults we currently have, but political parties that have system, have leadership, political parties like ANC, the political parties like Chama cha Mapinduzi, and political parties you see in the West. Or even the Communist Party of China, just a political party that can outlive the founders. That is based on a specific ideology. The ideology may be debatable, but William Ruto, if you asked me, is looking at having a political party that is based on ideology. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I think. I don't think that the president is going to abandon UDA and go to ODM. I wanted to share that because one of you asked, do I see a situation where the president is likely to move to ODM and abandon UDA? I don't see that. I could be wrong. What do you think? Let me hear from you on that subject. Otherwise, in case you missed why Malala was pulling some drama here and there, watch this video.